Right now at noon, for the first time in Wisconsin history, an LGBTQ pride flag will fly over the Capitol building. And time is running out for Mexico to make security changes at the border and avoid tariffs.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Josh Brighter in for Mark Kane. He'll be back on Monday. We have another sun-filled day to kick off the weekend. Meteorologist Chris Reese is here with a very quiet forecast for once. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Josh. I'm struggling a little bit because I've been looking down trying to find some cloud cover on the sky camera, and the truth is, I can't. Plenty of blue out there, though, and that is going to shape up for an amazing into the week, stepping into the weekend. 77 degrees right now. Winds coming out of the east and southeast at 11 miles per hour. Janesville at 81, La Crosse at 83, and Black River Falls at a very balmy 85 degrees this Friday afternoon. Let's put this in motion as we go through the next 12 hours. Look for those temperatures to top out probably around 83 degrees or so here in the Madison area. We'll cool those temperatures back down, though, overnight. That's just because we're keeping the clear skies around along with more sunshine into Saturday. That brings the question, Josh, when's the next rain chance? I'll answer that in Maine weather.
All right, yeah, I'm loving all the sunshine.
Me too.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in just a little bit. All right, new at noon, for the first time in Wisconsin history, a rainbow pride flag will fly over the state capitol. It will be raised at 1:30 this afternoon. On Monday, Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway raised the rainbow flag in front of the Madison Municipal Building and City County Building. She said at a press conference, Madison is relatively LGBTQ friendly, but still more work to do. Governor Tony Evers agrees. He signed an executive order to raise the flag over the Capitol that read, quote, "We recognize there is more work to do to ensure that every person in our state is treated with respect and experiences full equality in their lives." Dane County board members have approved a $148 million plan to update and consolidate the county's jails. The Wisconsin State Journal reports the plan costs $72 million more than initially approved. It does include building an 8-story tower on the parking lot behind the downtown public safety building and jail while closing 2 other outdated facilities. Demonstrators took over the meeting and shut it down before the decision was made, chanting and yelling things like "shut them down" and "build people, not jails." Former Governor Scott Walker says a security wall in Israel is proof the United States needs one. He posted pictures on Twitter this morning from Israel. According to the New York Times, the Israeli government says the wall is meant to prevent terroristic attacks, but Palestinian leaders believe it's a racial barrier that isolates more than 25,000 Palestinians. Walker has been an outspoken supporter of the wall at the U.S.-Mexico border. The White House is prepared to move forward with President Trump's threatened tariffs on Mexico, even as negotiations on immigration issues continue. Nicole Killian has the latest from the White House.
Mexico's foreign minister arrived at the State Department for another round of talks with time running out.
There's a legal notification that goes forward today with the plan to implement tariffs on Monday. But I think that there is the ability, if negotiations continue to go well, that the president can turn that off at some point over the weekend.
CBS News has learned Mexico offered to deploy 6,000 troops to its southern border, but the White House said that was not enough.
Mexico must do significantly more to end this crisis of illegal immigration at our border. We called on them to take even more steps, more decisive action.
Mexico then agreed to change its policy to force migrants to apply for asylum in Mexico if they have entered the country, instead of crossing over to do it in the U.S., something Mexico has long resisted.
President Trump is on his way back to the White House from his trip to Europe, and administration officials tell us it's unlikely a deal can be finalized unless he signs off on it first.
My understanding is that the minute the president lands, and you guys know the time better than me, about 4:30, that he's going to be presented with, the material progress, and then he's going to put everything on the table and make a decision about next steps.
Mexico has stepped up its enforcement against migrants. This morning, the country's immigration agency tweeted these photos of Honduran immigrants being deported back to their home country. And this week, hundreds of law enforcement officers blocked 1,000 migrants from entering Mexico at its border with Guatemala. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Mexico is calling on the U.S. to do more to help these Central American countries where the majority of immigrants are coming from. A superintendent in Colorado is proposing demolishing Columbine High School. In a letter to parents this week, he said there was, quote, morbid fascination with the mass shooting 20 years ago where 12 students and a teacher were killed and more than 20 wounded. The superintendent says during the past year they've seen a record number of people trespassing or trying to enter that school illegally. Demolition and construction of a new school would cost $70 million. That proposal is still in the beginning stages. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden has reversed his position on a long-standing law blocking federal funding for abortion.
I can't justify leaving millions of women without access to the care they need and the ability to exercise their constitutionally protected right.
Biden switched positions, saying he no longer supports the Hyde Amendment at DNC fundraising gala yesterday. The decades-old law blocks federal funding for abortion except in cases of rape, incest, or to save a woman's life. Many presidential Democratic candidates are now calling for the measure to be repealed. New research says despite high tuition prices, a college degree does pay off. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the average college graduate earns $30,000 more than someone with only a high school education. As an investment, a college degree has an average rate of return of 14%, which is well above the long-term return benchmarks of traditional stocks at 7% or bonds at 3%. The Raptors go into the NBA Finals Game 4 with a 2-1 lead over Golden State. In Game 3, Toronto took advantage of a shorthanded Warriors team, taking a 123-109 road victory. Guard Klay Thompson had to sit out due to a hamstring injury, but is expected to return tonight. Forward Kevin Durant has been ruled out with a lingering calf injury. A win for the Raptors tonight means they could close out the series in a home game for Game 5. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. on ABC. Well, back in Madison, Taco Bell Cantina will start serving alcohol today after spending more than a year fighting to get an alcohol license. The restaurant opened on State Street in December of 2017, but couldn't get an alcohol license approved until this April. The first ceremonial pour is at 1 p.m. this afternoon. All guests who purchase beer, wine, or a Twisted Freezy through 11 p.m. tonight will get a free taco. All right, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Love fish and looking for new ways to make it extra special? We've got a way that you'll go nuts over. I know from chatting with many of you online and when I'm at events that a lot of you love to fish. For some, it may be deep sea, while others, it's off the dock. Then, of course, there are folks like me who fish every now and then and usually don't have much luck. For those of us who do get that fresh catch, even if it's from the fish counter at the supermarket, let me show you one tasty way to cook it. If it's a smaller lake fish like trout, perch, or tilapia, have it dressed, which means the insides are removed, and butterflied, like this. And if it's a bigger fish, then have it filleted. Now we brush both sides with some melted butter, season it with salt and pepper, and cook it on a grill pan for a couple of minutes on both sides until it flakes easily. Meanwhile, in a small skillet, we melt a bit more butter, toss in some sliced almonds, and when the butter is slightly browned, pour it over the fish. Adding a simple butter sauce over your fresh catch is all that it takes. The whole idea is to complement the fresh taste of the fish, not smother it. To get the recipe for what we call our fresh catch with buttered almonds, all you need to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a hook, line, and sinker way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
We are soaking up even more sunshine on this Friday, and the good news is it's sticking around into the weekend. Meteorologist Chris Reese will tell us just how warm we're going to get and when we could see that next chance for showers. Stay with News 3 Now at noon. Welcome back at noon. The U.S. job market is losing steam, and could you give up your smartphone for 1 week if it involved cash? Here's Dan King Hall with today's Money Watch report.
Hiring decelerated dramatically in May. According to the Labor Department, U.S. employers added 75,000 jobs last month. That was much worse than expected, and previous spring gains were revised lower, signaling cracks in the economy. But the nation's unemployment rate did hold steady at 3.6%. Another day, another car maker recall. Fiat Chrysler is recalling close to 343,000 Ram pickup trucks because the airbags might not inflate in a crash due to a software problem. The recall covers the 2019 model year Ram 1500 and a small set of 2020 models. A new chapter for Barnes & Noble. The once massive bookstore chain is being acquired by hedge fund Elliott Management for $476 million. You may remember in October, the brick-and-mortar bookseller said it might put itself up for sale. And one company will pay you $1,000 to give up your smartphone for 1 week. Frontier Communications says it is looking for a smartphone addict and someone with a strong social media presence for the Flip Phone Challenge. To apply, head to its website at frontierbundles.com by July 1st. The company will give the candidate it selects a flip phone, a physical map, and a pocket phone book to write down numbers. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And let's take a look at stocks at the noon hour. The Dow up 308 points, NASDAQ up 139, and S&P 500 up 37. All right, time now to check in with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yonke. And Pam, I think for $1,000, I'd be willing to give up my phone as well.
I don't know if I could do it. I was thinking about that, Josh. I mean, even if a flip phone, I don't know. I do so much anymore these days on my phone. I almost hate to admit that. I usually chastise my nephew for being on his phone, but Auntie might not be much better. It's something to think about, that's for sure. What we're thinking about today, Josh, is what's going to happen on Monday with those tariffs in Mexico. Farm markets are lower on the midday, corn, beans, and wheat. We did get a little good news. You know, that's in the form of weather. Wisconsin's one of the states that's really seeing a few good days strung together. Farmers in the Ohio Valley and other areas are not. So let's take a look at those numbers because I've got other things I want to discuss with you as well. So we'll wait and see what comes out on Monday afternoon as far as planting progress is concerned. I'm reading a lot of Twitter feeds from farmers and different analysts. Some farmers in states like Illinois, even Indiana and Iowa, the farmers are now reporting that they did finish up planting, but they don't know if they made the right decision. They say the field conditions are far from ideal, but they finished it up. Now they'll just have to wait and see if the crop's going to be able to overcome. So like I said on the midday, corn, beans, and wheat all trading lower. Barrel cheese in Chicago is up a penny and a half at 153 and a half. 40-pound block cheese up a half at 175 and a quarter. Double A butter today finishes the week a penny stronger, 239 and 3/4. Fluid milk contracts have been mixed all day long, but trending a little higher right now. Don't forget, this is a busy dairy weekend. Tomorrow I'll see you at the Dane County Breakfast on the Farm, Klondike Farms. That's in Brooklyn. Please park at the Madison International Speedway in Oregon and take the shuttle out to the farm. They have very limited parking, so please come and join us at Kevin and Erica Klain's farm. Tomorrow morning I'll introduce you to the family at 9. Scholarship winners on at 10. On the stage area. Sauk County welcomes you to the Lohr Farm tomorrow morning. Prairie du Sac starting at 7 a.m. Rock County Breakfast on the Farm starts at 6:30 tomorrow morning just outside of Janesville at the Kirsten Farm, and the 43rd Annual Lafayette County Breakfast on the Farm happening tomorrow morning as well at the beautiful Cottonwood Dairy by South Wayne. If you want to find all those details and more, go to HoorayWisconsinDairy.com. HoorayWisconsinDairy.com. Josh, it is going to be a busy dairy weekend for a lot of folks, but as you alluded to earlier, we'll take it with the weather that Chris has been able to drum up for us the past couple of days. It's wonderful.
Yeah, hooray for all that sunshine.
That's right, exactly.
All right, Pam, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Sounds good.
All right, now over to weather now. Probably the most liked guy in the newsroom today, meteorologist Chris Reese. Chris, this is just a fantastic Friday out there.
Yeah, it really has been perfect. And in the words of Hattie McLean this morning, that made me laugh. She said yesterday's temperatures got a little out of control for some of us. And she was talking in particular about Mineral Point hitting 88 degrees. So yesterday was a great day to be outdoors, maybe in the pool, and just enjoy that summer-like weather. I think we're going to do it all over again today. Crystal blue sky. It's actually still a struggle to find cloud cover. I've been looking. I haven't seen anything yet. So if you see a small cloud in the sky, shoot me a picture of it because I definitely want to see something today. But it's beautiful out there. 77 right now. The wind's coming out of the east and southeast at 11 miles per hour. Janesville at 81. Mineral Point also at 81. Black River Falls is already at 85. So we're going to see how their temperatures shape up because we still have a couple more degrees of warming to go as we go through the the rest of the afternoon. And here's weather track. Not a lot of cloud cover showing up really across the upper Midwest as a whole. In fact, when you look at visible cloud track, that's where you can find where some cloud cover is. There's some across the UP of Michigan right now, back towards Superior and into parts of northern Minnesota and parts of the Dakotas. But high pressure in control is keeping our weather quiet right now. There is a little cutoff low down across the Ohio Valley, bringing a lot of rain for them. And then we also have another low across southern Canada. That's going to spark some storms throughout western North and South Dakota as we go into this afternoon. So expect us to stay quiet going through most of the weekend. Here Saturday, we're still quiet. On Sunday, the cloud cover and the shower chances start to get a little bit closer towards southern Wisconsin. At the same time, a cold front starts to approach from the north and west. It's going to squeeze out that little moisture that we have in the atmosphere. That'll at least bring some rain chances for us, and then high pressure is going to take over back again behind that. So as you plan your weekend, no matter what you have going on, if there's a way to do it outdoors, I'd certainly encourage you to do so. 83 for your high this afternoon. The high pressure overhead will shape up for a little bit of a cooler night for us. Expect those lows right around 55. Then on Saturday, we're returning to the low 80s, and we're going to be a little bit cooler with those winds coming out of the east instead of the south on Saturday. But still, we're talking the low 80s, and then comes the rain chance. As we move into the wee hours of Sunday morning, we'll see a little bit of rain starting to creep its way on in here, but don't fret, because it will not be a washout of a Sunday at all. More chances for sunshine as we go into Monday and Tuesday. We'll have a rain chance on Wednesday, and then we'll stay sunny into next weekend as well. So while we still have rain chances, this forecast overall is a lot drier, and we're keeping it that way for now.
Oh, hail Chris Reese.
Oh, thanks.
Bringing us all the
Throw money
sunshine.
at me, something. I'll take it.
All right.
Like any prizes.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, it is. My pleasure.
Still ahead for us this noon, a burglary call in Texas turns out to be quite different from what police expected. News 3 Now this morning, or News 3 Now at noon. We'll be right back. It was a wake-up caught on camera that one Texas homeowner didn't expect. She heard her window break and thought someone was inside her home, and here's what police found.
A little after 6 this morning, a homeowner says she heard glass shatter and the sounds of strange footsteps inside her home. Locking herself inside a closet, she frantically dialed 911. Police quickly responded, approaching the situation with caution.
Give me your hands! Give me your hands! Not knowing how many people are in there, I didn't go in. I went around to make sure he didn't go out through the back door or window.
Help soon arrived, and body cams captured everything as the officers entered the home. And to their surprise, the burglar was a frightened doe.
That's a deer! It's a deer! It's a deer! It's a deer! Stand down!
Go. Once we collected our thoughts, and knew it wasn't a suspect, we went to laughing about it, trying to get the deer out.
The officers grabbed some nearby stools and tried to corral the doe.
The deer was just climbing walls, trying to get out. There were several times that we almost went out the back door and the door shut, and so it ran back inside. It was chaos. There we go.
Doe eventually ran out the front door, leaving behind a mess and a weird story for Corporal Ibero to remember.
In 21 years, I think this right here tops it, because I've never seen or dealt with a deer inside the residence before.
Thankfully, no one was hurt in the incident. And as for the doe, she's still on the loose.
Oh dear, that sounds like a story out of Texas there, Chris.
Yes, it does. I can't help but laugh at that. And oh dear, plenty of sunshine as we go through the weekend too. I hope you have the time to take a splash in the pool because it's going to be warm. 83 today, 81 on Saturday. Sunday, just a little bit cooler. We'll be in the upper 70s. That's because we'll have a chance of some showers early on Sunday morning. But I do think the dry periods will return again by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, Chris, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here on Live at 4.